before at Family First Life, what was your best year income-wise? Do you remember?
Probably somewhere around 100.
What's been your best year with us so far?
$1 million.
$1 million?
Yeah.
You made $1 million last year?
Yeah.
Crazy. And your best year before this was 100K?
Yeah.
So you 10X that?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to True Talk. Got a special guest with me today from the West Coast, my man Jack. How we doing, Jack?
Great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming. Appreciate you. And it's funny, we were talking a little bit before we got on. You had something horrible happen a few years ago, right?
Yes.
Wildfires,
Yes.
Lost your house.
Yes.
And even though we had you come out here today, you just got back in your home a few days ago, right?
Thank God. Yes.
Yes.
I just got back yesterday.
Well, congratulations, dude. That's awesome to hear, and sorry that you had to go through that. But what I want to talk about with you today, dude, is this. Did you know you have the Hall of Fame record for most qualifications?
Really?
Yes. We were counting them up before, and there you were like, dude, I got some I can't even keep track. But you have 8 qualifications, so I'm going to break that down. You have 5 personal Hall of Fame qualifications, so you've sold over $400,000 personally 5 times. You're on track to do it a 6th time this year. You have 2 agency Hall of Fame, which is $10 million for your agency. And you hit Annuity Hall of Fame, was it last year for the first time?
Yes.
Over 2 million annuities sold. So what does that mean? It means my man sells a lot of insurance, sells a lot of annuities, and teaches people how to sell a lot of insurance. Wasn't always the case though, right?
No.
No. So I would love to give people an idea of like where you came from, your background, and how, like, why is it funny to even think that Jack's selling this much? Because at one point, like, you were in insurance before. How long were you in insurance before you joined us?
I was at a trial company for a year.
For a year.
And then I left the industry completely.
Okay.
And then I came back and I met a few of us here at another company, and we were there for almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had 4 years prior to FFL.
Yeah.
What was the most you sold in those 4 years?
Per year, maybe 100.
100.
100.
Wow. And your background before insurance, what was that? What did you do?
Oh, I did a bunch of stuff. I was in sales.
Okay.
Travel industry. And
Yeah.
before that, I was in accounting. So it's pretty different.
Yeah. Wow. Accounting to sales.
Yeah.
What was before at Family First Life? What was your best year income wise? Do you remember?
Probably somewhere around 100.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 6 figures.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, it ain't what it was back then.
No.
But what's been your best year with us so far?
Including annuities, I did $2 million last year and probably Hall of Fame production last year.
$2 million.
Yeah.
You brought in
annuities.
$2 million last year.
Yeah. In annuities.
In annuities.
Yeah.
Oh, you made $2 million just in annuities.
Oh, no. You talking just
I'm
take home?
talking.
Oh, yeah.
Cash money.
Yeah. $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
So you made $1 million last year.
Yeah.
Crazy. And your best year before this was 100K.
Yeah.
So you 10X that.
Yeah.
Why that's important is that I think there's still this misconception that I can't do this because I don't have sales experience, right? Or I wasn't good at sales experience is all relative. Some people have been in sales for a long time and can't sell anything, right?
Right.
So why was it that you struggled so much in your past, insurance career?
Exactly. So I was laughing because that was me. I had tons of so-called sales experience,
Yep.
and I thought so.
Okay.
I thought so, So I came in, I was at life insurance for a year, didn't work out.
Yeah.
So when I came back around, I was real skeptical,
Okay.
doubting Thomas. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if this is going to work. But obviously I was that desperate. I was here.
Yeah.
So I gave it a shot, but then I started realizing step by step that it's not exactly what I thought it should be.
Okay.
And I had to re-educate myself, and I had to, leave my pride in my back pocket, and, and be coachable,
So you weren't coachable before?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
You say you had to, I guess, move away from what you thought it was good. What did you think it was going to be?
Yeah. I mean, just having done certain type of sales for so many years, mostly tangible stuff like, hey, take a vacation.
Yeah.
Or, hey, try this out, versus what we do is very different.
Yeah.
We're dealing in intangibles, right?
Yep.
Life insurance is so important. I mean, the government will have you insure your homes, right? Your car. You have to have car insurance. But what about your family?
They don't care.
What's more important?
Right.
Right? But is it a priority in all transparency? Not really.
No.
Then come home, hey, honey, how's your life insurance? Nobody cares,
Right.
Even the people that fill out the forms, we've got to go the extra mile
Sure.
to make sure we do our job right.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's getting out of your comfort zone, right? So from a soft sales perspective, I'm like, hey, Mike, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Let's be best friends, you know? But from a life insurance perspective, we have to really be thoughtful about what kind of posture is going to get the most traction and make them understand that, hey, this is something that's really important. You asked for it,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here today.
Got it.
And that's something I couldn't fathom.
Really?
Because I was like Guy Smiley on the phone.
Oh, so you were making friends.
Trying to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
This is Jack. Huh? That's my natural personality.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of what we do, certainly in the beginning, is we have to go against the grain and get out of our comfort zone and say, hey, like, what is it we're trying to accomplish? And how are we going to do that? Even with, families that are not, they're not 100, not all of them are like totally dying to give you a check.
They're all not lay downs, right?
Exactly.
Like you're going to have some. I mean, you sold long time, Jack. There's some that just, they're going to buy. They're going to buy from anybody. But that's a small percentage, maybe 20, 30%.
Right.
Then you got another percentage, probably about the same, that aren't going to buy from anyone.
No one.
But where you make your money, where you excel in this business, where you hit Hall of Fame 5, 6 times in a row is when you can take that percentage that's on the fence, right? They forgot why they filled it out. They're not in that emotional state anymore, and bring them back. Because like you said, everybody we talk to has filled something out. They're interested, right? You've done sales where it's cold calling, door knock, that type of stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. Completely different animal, right?
Different animal.
I'm trying to be your friend, your common ground. We're talking. You don't even know what I'm calling you about. And then I slide in with, hey, you want to buy life insurance? That's not what we do, though.
No.
Everybody we talk to has expressed interest. But that's also why it's a different sale, right? Like you say, you go against the grain. Talking to someone off of a lead, that what these guys here told you to do is probably complete opposite of what you learned years ago. Is that fair?
Yeah, so different.
Like when you first started selling off of leads, did you try to approach it like you did the other sales?
I totally did.
Yeah.
And I think that was where I was, bumping heads.
Yeah.
Right. So I just had to slow down and, just follow the system that's already there.
Right.
Stop trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Yeah. So I got an idea. Hey, don't have an idea. We know how to do it, right? Just follow it. So how long with us did it take for you to really feel like, okay, I got this figured out?
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a minute.
Yeah.
It did, because there's all these bumps in the road, right? I mean, we're 1099, right? So you really have to hit the ground running and give it your best shot. So as much hard work as I was putting in, you really want to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
When it comes to understanding, hey, look, leads, like, you want to do multiple 6-figure sales. You need to have a certain amount of leads.
Yeah.
All right. And then the activity levels. Activity levels, of course, is on the phone all day and all night, doubling down on that. But it's also all the periphery stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so fortunate at Family First to have so much content, webinars, podcasts, agencies all over the country, and they're all sharing.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to build your schedule with those building blocks so you can feed your own mind and get your mind right.
Sure.
Right. And then, of course, practicing, it's a skill set. And like you said, it's different than what a lot of people encounter in their everyday business, acumen,
So of those things you mentioned, which ones did you struggle with early on? Was it purchasing leads? Was it the activity? Was it the mindset? Like what was the biggest thing you struggled with, and how did you overcome that?
Right. So for me, fortunately, the leads wasn't a problem.
Okay. So you didn't mind buying leads?
I didn't mind buying it because I came from a place that was like dry as a well.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking about that, right?
Yep.
Before that, Mike. We used to get leads that were like 3 years old.
Yep.
And this is before the internet, right? So we'd get paper leads from this other company, and they're like mustard stains and coffee stains, and you knew what the guy had for lunch.
Smell like cigarette smoke,
And we'd have to go stalk them down because we only get like one a day. We get a packet of 30 for the month.
Wow.
So that's how tough it was.
Yeah.
And, pulling a rabbit out of a hat was tough.
Sure.
And then kind of like, hey, we heard about protect your kids with the child safety kit, and then try to flip it into a life sale. So it was really hard.
Yeah.
So when we came here, the door was wide open. I was like, yeah, I'll take some more of those. Because even though, the money wasn't there,
right.
It was a stretch.
Sure.
Starting to come up with, that much money a week was a stretch.
Yeah, you weren't making $1 million a year.
No. But you had to take that leap of faith. I was willing to do that.
Okay.
But I was excited to get leads.
All right.
Yeah.
So leads you were good with. What part did you struggle with?
Just, be duplicatable.
Yeah.
Right? Because I knew what other people were doing.
Yeah.
I just couldn't slow down and be coachable enough to listen.
Got it.
So I'd come off and I'd say my own thing.
Okay.
So I'll give you a funny example. We'd have dial teams.
Yeah.
And I'd show up and I'd be complaining. I'd be like, what is wrong with them? What are you trying to sell me here? These leads don't work. I'd be like, Mr. Doubtful, and then somebody like Andrew come along and say, well, let me hear you do a call.
Yeah.
And I call up a family like, he said, did you know every time you call somebody, you say you're coming over? It's kind of creepy, dude. I was like, no, I don't. Yes, you do. So actually I started doing it. It's like, oh my gosh. I was like, hey, my name's Jack. I'm calling from the thing. My job is just to come over. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I said that.
You were leading with that. Like,
yeah, I thought and I didn't even realize I was like throwing that in every time.
Yeah. Got it. So, I mean, dialing in front of people helped you, or at least Andrew hearing you and going, hey, dude, stop doing that, do this.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to, I know you said a minute, but are we talking, a month, 6 months, a year? Like,
yeah, I say 6 months.
6 months.
I mean, for me, I'm slower than most.
Yeah.
But it took me 6 months to really get to the point where like, hey, this is a skill set that ain't going away.
Why didn't you quit? Or did you think about quitting in those 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did, but there's, again, getting around the calls, the webinars, having that understanding from other top producers that they went through the same thing.
Got it.
And, knowing that you should, embrace that no plan B, because I literally didn't have much of a plan B.
Right.
Right. I had a job, right, when I first started.
Or you were in accounting?
No, I was actually doing digital sales.
Okay.
Yeah, for the LA News Group. So we'd go around and sell ad space.
Got it. So you had that and you were doing this part-time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah, I bet. But then once it clicked, like what did you learn about what to do on the phone once it finally clicked? And then we're talking back in the day, you're going in home, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like talk to me about what you learned about the sales process, because I do believe our process is very different.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, but it is simple.
It is.
And I think a lot of people struggle because they overcomplicate it.
That's true.
Right? I got to know everything in this. No, you just like that. Omar was saying, just do it. Just get on the phone. Like first thing you got to do is just do it. Instead of worrying about what am I going to say when they say this and how do I present the product and what does this product do? Just get on the phone and call somebody.
So true.
So talk to me about what works for you, because the numbers speak for themselves, Jack. Every single year you're right there, right? So it's not that, hey, you had a great run 10 years ago. You're still doing this now. You've done this when we were in home, right? You're all over the phone now?
Right, 100%.
100% over the phone. You made that transition and the numbers are still there. So if you could take a few minutes and your sales process, everybody's a little bit different, but in your opinion, what are the most important aspects of that appointment and how have you learned how to be so consistent and sell so much, year in and year out?
Yeah, Mike. I think there were many things that along the way I had to learn.
Yeah.
Right. And being duplicatable, right? Just knowing that the system's in place, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Right. But I had to be proven. It had to be proven to me because I was a skeptic, right? So like things like we said, like Andrew was like, hey, you're saying this? I was like, no, I'm not. In fact, I was.
Right.
Right. Funny story. Okay. So back in the day, we had those paper leads.
Yeah.
Right. And like, you're dialing all day long, just dialing all day long. And, we have to get them. So we're calling them multiple times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you burnt the lead to the ground, maybe it's a week later and you're still calling on leads because you progressively move backwards to pull out appointments. I'd start putting little, in your boredom, you put little faces on them. So like if it was a good appointment, I put a little smiley face.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they're like, don't ever call me again, I put a little sad face. So believe it or not, I'm out there. I'm like 3 hours from home on a trip with a bunch of appointments.
Yeah. And
I'm like, okay, it's like time to go door knock. Like that part of the day where we have some downtime. We're going to go, find some people that have filled out a form, of course.
Sure.
Like, this is back in the day. And I get to the door and I'm like knocking and they're like, no, don't ever come back here again. I'm like, somebody behind a screen, like I couldn't see them, like, now. I was like, darn it. So I went about my business.
Yeah.
Next day, same routine, because I'm there for a couple of days. Next day, same routine. And I get to the house and I'm like, oh, look at that. It's a sad face. What the heck? I drove all the way here. It's a sad face. I was like, what the heck? I'm here.
Yeah.
So I get to the door and it's one of those things where it's a one-way screen. They can see me. I can't see them. And it's a sad face. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm like, hey, Mary, what's up? And then she's like, okay, fine, Starbucks, 3:00. I'm like, it's like kind of scary, like a ghost coming, a voice coming out through the
Can't
door.
see her.
It's like tomorrow, Starbucks, 3:00. I was like, Starbucks, 3:00, okay. And then I kind of like walked away backwards, like I didn't want to scare her. Like maybe we should change her mind. So I was like, okay, I'm on for Starbucks. And then I was like, yeah, great. Which Starbucks? I was like, darn, there's so many Starbucks. So long story short, we ended up meeting them, helping them, really nice family.
Yeah.
And I was able to help them, husband and wife, met them both, after they turned me down several times to my face.
Right.
And then years later, I helped them do some rollovers, annuities, right? So it really blossomed into a client for life.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The strangest part is, I don't want to waste any time going backwards, but, those little sad faces, if you look back, I look back at my business like a year, 2 years, 3 years later, you would not believe the number of sad faces that are,
I believe it,
that are still my clients today. And, we were able to help.
Yeah.
So I think that just strengthened my understanding of, hey, it's really important for us to keep that determination up and don't draw any quick conclusions, even if they turn you down.
Right.
Because just because they say no doesn't mean they don't need it.
Correct.
They need it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people that are just eager. And to the contrary, people that really are excited to meet you and are so friendly and are lay downs, they turn around and they lay down with Mike and they lay down with Jack and they lay down with Susie and, and they're ready to quit next week because they got too many policies, So, I don't like to jump to conclusions anymore.
Yeah.
And I just, go.
It's a great point because a lot of times you take what they say so personal, right?
Yeah.
So, this person's never going to buy. Dude, when you wrote that sad face, Mary might have just been having a shitty day, right?
Right.
You never know. Maybe
know.
Someone ran over a cat. Maybe they forgot to pick up the garbage. Maybe her basement's leaking. You never know what could have happened. But we get home. Mary's mad. I'm never going to call her again.
You just never know.
A lot of times those are your best clients, your best appointments.
Yeah. That's the nature of it too. If I were to, I don't want to overgeneralize, but when leads come out, it's social media sometimes, and then they're inundated.
Sure.
And then if you can bring value to the table, put your foot down, like, hey, this is why we're here, regardless of anything you say. That's another thing, right? Is having the right mentality and the right mindset to know that just because you say that, it doesn't faze me. Whatever you say doesn't faze me. We're going to get this protection for you because you need it. Not to mention you asked for it.
Right.
You asked for it. I've got your birthday right here, your beneficiary right there, and you can say anything you want, but we're going to get this done.
Yeah. But to your point, you cannot forget about that piece of this. We're not cold calling. You didn't just randomly call some lady and ask her if she wants to buy insurance. She filled something out online that talked about life. It wasn't bait and switch like the other company. She didn't think she was getting anything free.
Right.
You're doing a lot of internet ads, our leads now, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty straightforward, right? Hey, you want life insurance? Fill this out. I know there's more in there, but in a nutshell, there's no surprises.
None.
Client is not like, oh, I thought I was getting X, Y, and Z. I'm surprised you're calling me about life. That doesn't happen.
Right.
So if that's the case, why would we stop at the first no? Or why would we get all unnerved because they said something mean the first time? You never know what that person's going through that day. What do? Just put the lead off to the side, call them tomorrow, and then call them the next day. How many times has this happened to you? You call someone one day, they hung up, cussed you out, whatever the case. You call that same person a week later, and it was like a whole different person.
Totally different person.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few minutes now. Jack, what's up?
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
All the time.
How about that? Here's a worse question, I guess. How many agents do you think don't call that client back?
Oh, yeah.
And don't make the sale and don't help them?
Yeah, me included. In the beginning, I was like, you're not interested? I'm sorry. I'm
sorry.
sorry. I apologize for, as if to say, I'm wasting your time.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
If you think that way, then you're going to get stepped all over.
Sure. And like you said earlier, we're not selling things that you're not going to use, right? So now, unfortunately, you used your homeowner's insurance.
Yeah.
But is that the first time you ever used homeowner's insurance in your life? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like car insurance, I've never used mine. Never once. Never used homeowner's insurance. You have to have insurance on all these things.
You do.
Life insurance is the one that you are guaranteed to use.
That's right.
So why are we acting like they they just wanted information. They weren't interested. They're upset. Let me not call them again. This is very, very important. You've had death claims, I'm sure. It was not you sold.
Yes.
Is there like, give me one that stands out, like that maybe changed your aspect on this business, your thought, like was that early on?
Totally. It validated my whole career, in fact.
Really?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I hear for a long time, years, I heard people say that, death claim, death claim.
Sure.
And I had death claim, and I remember the people, and I was remorseful, I was sad.
Yeah.
But then there was one lady that was really special to me because it was a weird situation. She lived in a busy part of town.
Okay.
There's all these big buildings. And in the middle, she had she was a fortune teller.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just like one of those people that would not vacate in the middle of a skyscraper built block.
Yeah.
And she got this one little place with a fortune teller place. So I walk in, she goes, "How can I help her?" I was like, "You tell me, you're the fortune teller."
Right.
So from that on, we just got on, and I helped her and her husband and her kids, with life insurance, and then we did some retirement planning stuff, and then kept in touch, and then the husband passed away.
Yeah.
But it was so impactful because she's like, "Look, we finally sold that, the place in the city, and we moved out.
Yeah.
We got our dream home."
Oh man.
And she was she was crying, of
Yeah,
course,
sure.
but she's like also in so much fear because she's like, "I don't know how to do anything. I could read fortunes, but I never paid the bills." She's like, "I don't know how to pay the mortgage. I don't know how to do anything." And she was like losing it. So I felt, so, engaged and like I wanted to help her out so much. I was like, what can I do? So I got on the ball immediately. The insurance guy was so helpful.
Yeah.
And we were able to expedite a check. I had him send it straight to me. So I literally got in that, and I got my car and I drove it to her like 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Just that one stop, just to give her the check. I met her at the bank, and then we took care of the account. Made sure they understand, like, here's auto pay, here's the check, here's the money for the funds. And then we set it up, and she was like so relieved after that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we really, do make an impact on people's lives,
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And like if you're selling now and you think, it sucks, the clients, this, that, listen to that story and understand what you have the license to do, right? You have the license to impact people positive. Like you impacted that lady's family for generations. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Talking about someone who didn't know how to pay the bills, lost her husband. You drive 3 hours to deliver a check and help her get everything on track. It's phenomenal. But that's why we do what we do. Because it's not, but if we're buying cars, I drove to the lot in a car. I'm not like, if I don't buy the car, what's going to happen, right? Like, well, if you don't get the homeowner's insurance through me, Mike, dude, there's 12 other companies that sell the exact same shit. Like,
Exactly.
But here's the difference about us. There's other people that sell the same policy you sell, but they're not going to go above and beyond for their client like our agents do. I mean, that's what years ago Sean said, become their guy, their girl, whatever. Like, it's not just, let me call you, sell a policy, and forget about you. Be that person for your client.
Totally.
Like, they're your clients.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-off. Because you think about how many people we talk to on a daily basis that don't have insurance or underinsured. Probably most of your clients.
Everyone.
Totally. Right? Either they have nothing or they're underinsured.
That's so true. And
we have the ability, because of they requested this, we have the ability to help them put something in force to protect their family. So I want to get back to that percentage of the clientele that you do have to bring back to that emotion. You do got to push over right? Like, because it is sales, right?
Totally it is.
And so talk to me about when you're dealing with those clients, right? Not the laydowns, not the ones that no one's going to close. What are the most important parts of your appointment? Whether it's, finding the why, getting the beneficiaries. Like, you're on the phone now, right?
I am.
Talk to me about what's the most important, and maybe it's a few phases of those appointments.
Right. I think in the beginning, it's really important to understand it, right? Like you said, it's an intangible, it's life insurance. So it's an emotional sale.
Sure.
So we want to get in tune with them on that level, right? And it's one thing to ask, why'd you fill this out today? But that would always trip me out.
Yeah.
Because I knew that was something I needed to ask, right? But just asking like that, it just asking for, like they'll say, well, I just want information.
Right.
What do you got?
Yeah.
And then they're on their high horse. They took control of the conversation.
Correct.
So we want to phrase it in a way that's going to, in a comfortable manner, have them start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like me grilling you or asking you random, weird questions.
Right. You're not opening your phone call with that.
Yeah. Mike, let me get this straight. You fill this out because you want to make sure that if something happens to you, that you don't leave a burden to Mary. Is that right? And then if you can get them to agree to that, to that question, then we start talking about it.
Okay.
And then let's talk about it.
So, where in your appointment do you do that? Is it very early on? Are there some things you want to establish before you do that?
Early on. Yeah. Early on. You want to understand that that's why we're here, right? And then I think as my education, got better, I understand that what I really wanted to do is bring it to life, okay, with actual examples and actually monetize it.
Okay.
So what do I mean? So if something happens to you, Mike, who's a beneficiary? Oh, it's my daughter. Oh, what's her name? Carly. Oh, where is she? She's in Colorado. Okay, great. What does she do? All right. Oh, she works at CVS. Great. She single, married. She's a mom. Yeah, she's a single mom. Oh, you're a grandma. Not beautiful. How many grandkids do you have? And then you can better understand their, situation. Well, she's got 2 kids. So let me get this straight. If something happens to you, then Carly's got to take time off of work, get the kids out of school, get on an airplane, come on out here, right? And then lay you to rest. After that, we've got to figure out how to liquidate everything in here, right? Get rid of everything in here, right? And then, clean it up, maybe change the carpet, and then put it on the market. Is that right? Yep. And that's all going to take time, effort, and money, right? Because then we got to maybe find the right broker, go through escrow, show the place, and that's going to take time, correct? Yep. So let's break that down. And get into it.
Yeah.
And then with that, paired with a little bit of understanding of their financials. I used to be really afraid to ask them, like, well, what's your monthly income? So the way that you ask the question can also be posture.
Sure.
Like if I'm like up in your business, I'm like, Mike, what's your monthly income? Like, well, who the hell wants to tell you? I don't what business is that of yours?
Yeah.
Right. So rather I say, hey, so we get through risk assessment questions. I'm like, Mike, what's your monthly annual income roundabout? Let's do stuff like roundabout, and I start sounding like a cowboy. and it takes some of the tension off.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this much. So you get better and better at finding a way to, connect with people. Because that was my problem. Right, really connecting with people.
Yeah,
and making them understand that. Look, I'm here to help you. No nonsense.
Right.
But I'm your advocate.
Yeah.
And I do care. Right. And if you'll share with me, then I'll work my hardest to help you.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean that's huge. It's instead of just assuming that they want it to protect so and so, having that conversation to visualize it. Makes it real. It brings that emotion out, and 9 times out of 10 it brings them back to whatever emotional state they were in when they filled this out. Because they're not filling these out because it's the most logical thing to do. If that was the case, everybody in the world would have filled them out,
right?
Because it seems pretty logical, right? We're all going to die someday, so why don't we leave some money for someone to take care of the finances when we're gone? Logic, one and one there, but. That's not how people make decisions. They make them based off emotions, right? That's why they buy houses that are too big, cars that are too expensive, buy all these clothes and flashy things to impress people they don't even like. But it's an emotional decision. So you got to bring them back to that and don't just assume. I don't care if they literally lead the call with, yeah, Jack, I just want to take care of my daughter. So how much does it cost?
Right.
Right? Like if I say, if someone, I'm sure you get stuff. We open the call with that. Yeah, Jack, I know why you're calling me. I just want to protect my wife. So how much does it cost?
Right.
What would you do?
I'd understand, first of all, that it's always going to be that way. As much as I want to help you, and I have a heart for that. I really believe that what we do is important. So we serve a higher purpose. But down to brass tacks, it's sell or be sold. You're trying to sell me on the fact that you're too busy, right? And I'm just some telemarketer.
Yep.
And I should just, listen to you and give you whatever you want and be gone. Because that's what they'll do in the end.
Absolutely.
You're 72 years old, you had a heart attack, and you still don't have life insurance, but you're asking for it. Right. You've obviously procrastinated, and we need to get this done now.
Sure.
Right? So take that into consideration first.
Yeah.
Then say, hey, look, real simple. I just need to know what you qualify for. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions and show you a couple programs. Like, yes, perfect. I'm here to do what you're asking me to do.
Yeah.
Here's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is key because you need to maintain control.
Exactly. And it's not my that's why we talk about what we do here. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get out of your comfort zone.
100%.
You know, I'm not the kind of person, you know, that wants to be telling people what to do,
Mm-hmm.
but for lack of any structure, they'll just, you know, toss you around like a rag doll.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And, you know, in what you said earlier, when you walk through that example of, hey, your daughter, what does she do? What a lot of people don't realize is how many objections you're removing by doing that, right?
Yep.
Because that removes the I want to think about it. What do you mean want to think about it? You just told me your daughter, Carly, works at CVS and is a single mom.
Yeah.
What is there to think about?
Exactly.
What, is she going to hit the lottery from now until when you die to cover everything?
Correct. Yeah.
Right? So you're removing that piece.
Yeah.
And the other big hang up that people have is the price, right? I believe this wholeheartedly. If you don't help somebody, it's your fault, number one. And it's two things. First one is they didn't like or trust you.
That's true.
Right? And that's part of the connecting. Like you said, it was hard for me to connect early on. So what would happen, Jack? Your clients didn't trust you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They'd come up with I don't do it the first time. I'll get back to you. I got to talk to my guy. I got to talk to all this bullshit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was they didn't like or trust you.
Absolutely.
Then the other piece is you didn't find something that really fit in their budget.
Right.
Right. And that one is like, that's almost a sad one because what do you mean you can control it?
Right.
You just slide the thing down. Less coverage, less this. You can fit. If you said I need it to be $59.22, we can make it exactly that.
Exactly.
Right? We can play around with that, but we can. So that one is almost, that should never happen, but it does.
It does.
And it's not being truly connected with your client, right? Like,
so
how are you? Obviously, you know, you talked about the finances. It was hard for you to ask early on, but now you incorporate it. But how are you gauging, like, you know, does this really fit their budget? Are you giving them, 3-4 options? Or are you kind of finding what that price point is and showing it to them? How does that work for you?
That's real good. So I think a safe way, and so many people do show 3 options.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
Right. For a long time, just personal stylization, I do show one thing.
One thing.
Right.
Okay.
And hopefully that's with a better understanding of where their comfort level's at, what their monthly bills are like, and their income looks like, right? But the most important part, like you said, Mike, you have to posture it so we can come down easy or go up easy, right? Because believe it or not, you can show somebody something and they're under the impression like half the people are under the impression like that's it, take it or leave it. It's absolutely not.
Yeah.
And for us not to be able to at least slide the thing over is like, totally missing something. So I say, hey, Mike, I could start by saying, hey, most importantly, we're here to find something that meets your needs and your budget. Now, I'm going to show you something right now because I don't know what your budget is. I'm going to show you something. And of course, we could look at less or we could look at more, right? So given the fact that we're looking to protect Carly and, she's going to need this much to get on down here, I think it's something like this would be good. And it comes out to $150 a month.
Yeah.
You see how that makes sense? I'm like, yep or nope, right? And if they say, yeah, that's a quick and fast close. Say, okay, perfect. The next step is we're going to submit an application and let's get you approved.
Yeah.
All right. If they say, well, I'm saying, well, is it a little bit on the, high side, or do you want to look at something less, or do you want to look a little more? So I'd like to look a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you know which way to go. But you have to definitely on the upfront make sure it's clear. Hey, we're going to look at less, or we can look at more. I have to start somewhere. As if to say, hey, look, I have to start somewhere. So it's kind of as if to say it's a shot in the dark, but it's actually not a shot in the dark from what I'm evaluating here.
Yeah.
You don't want to blow them away. In any situation, if in any person, right? I mean, depending on the type of sale, right? Everyone should be spending $100 a month, pretty much.
Yeah.
In nowadays economy, right? Sure. And you can bet that half the people will be confused or think that $300 to $500 is a little bit much.
Right.
But depending on what value you're selling, right? The value you're selling. Nowadays, we have tons of people, that are able to talk about tax-free growth in programs like IULs, and that totally changes the buying perspective, So that's exciting.
Yeah, like right now, what are you selling predominantly from a product standpoint, and what type of leads are you buying?
Right. I'm buying all kinds of leads, straight up life leads and IUL leads.
And IUL.
Yeah, both.
Got it.
Right. And they both have their advantages.
Sure.
If you're selling straight up life leads, you're going to meet all kinds of people, right? Young and old, many people with inferior health.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's why, I mean, Family First Life, we're the leaders in the simplified issue business. And we went from like one carrier to like 30 plus. We too many. We can't even engage.
Right.
I mean, enough already. You
Sure.
know, so many people want to work with us, which is exciting. So we have a lot of different directions to go with when it comes to final expense.
Yeah.
Right. But then IUL leads. That's something really that's exciting. You know, a couple more moving parts.
Sure.
It takes a little bit more education,
Mm-hmm.
right, to get the product across the table. But if it takes a sale from someone just like doing like what they need to do, like it's perfunctory, like life insurance. Then in the back of their mind, they're thinking, that's something I have to do for my
Correct.
life.
Yeah.
I have to do this for my kids.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes that'll put it low on the priority list on the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
When things get tight, they're like, I want a fixed income. Something got to go.
Right. That's usually the first thing.
Is it going to be my car insurance or my life insurance? So
yeah,
that's a small challenge, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, if you're talking about somebody's livelihood, like this is to build for my future, right? Then there's so much more potency that's behind that. They're a lot less likely to quit potentially, and they're willing to spend more.
Yeah. Speaking of, so what are you spending on leads per week right now?
I go for it. So I'm over 1,500 a week.
1,500 a week.
Yeah, maybe 2.
Yeah. And what's funny is I do these every week, Jack. You know how many people I've interviewed over the last, 10 years, and every Hall of Fame producer has the exact same answer: 1,500 to 2,000 a week.
Yeah.
Now you get the guys that are selling $1 million. Of course, you're like, I do more than that. But to hit Hall of Fame,
yes.
Is it fair to say that 1,500 to $2,000 is what you're going to have to spend a week on leads to sell 400,000?
It is.
It is.
It is.
Right? Regardless of how good or bad you are, that's what you're going to need to hit that number to get enough clients to speak to.
Surely.
And the reward on it, like now, obviously, a good chunk of your income is from your agency, bonuses, stuff like that. But who wouldn't spend $100,000 a year to make $1 million?
Right. But that's some of the hardest conversations to have.
Yeah.
To this day, because you have new agents come on board. They're eager. We're eager to help them out. But I've learned over the years that it's very important that you set expectations right up front.
Yeah.
Right. Because I have empathy for people. And I mean, if they're tired, some people have more time than money. Some people have more money than time, and you want to have that conversation. But like if someone did, like I make a joke with some of my partners, like if you offered me, Mike, say, hey Jack, here's $500, go to work. I say you should probably keep it. I'll go to the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't gonna work for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Why would I wouldn't do it for myself. Why would I set you up like that? So I have to. That's part of the growing curve for me when it comes to sharing with other agents, getting them up to speed. Is hey, let's be transparent here. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if you want to get to that level of production where you're consistently doing this, and you got to put this much in.
Yeah. And you've made, incredible strides on the agency side, because for the longest you were the producer.
Right.
Is that fair? Right.
Fair.
Jack sold a lot of insurance, but Jack was not the agency manager, the team guy. He sold.
Right.
Make money selling too, right?
Right.
So it's it's hard too. It's a dangerous trap to get in. It's like, dude, I can make all this money myself. Why do I want to start managing people? Managing people is great, and it's a pain in the ass. Is that fair?
Fair.
At times. But when did you make that switch? Because you've now hit Agency Hall of Fame twice. I think you're on track again this year, or you already hit it this year. One or the other. All I know is you'll hit it again this year. When did you make that switch, and when did you really start gaining traction on the agency side?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, the first year I was really skeptical, and I wasn't sure of my own abilities to make this work.
Right.
Right. So the last thing, it's very intuitive. People are like, there's like, I'm going to sell first, see if I can do it first. See if I can do it first. And I had the same mentality. I was like, I don't want to share unless I can do it first.
Yeah.
Right. But I think, fortunately for me, people started coming around.
Okay.
Because we really are putting the families of the agents first, because that was the whole premise of this company.
Right.
Was to put people in a better position. You don't know how many people I'm talking to nowadays that are, believe it or not, Mike, they're like a 30% comp, a 40% comp.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. No leads, right? So for me, it was kind of funny how it started evolving. People from my old company started hearing, hey, what's Jack doing? He's still selling life insurance. You're kidding. Because he couldn't sell anything over here. And he's doing it at double the comp. And when they heard that, they were like, starting to call up
Yeah.
and starting to ask why. And that's how I started having my first agents,
So you started recruiting. This is funny. You started recruiting because you were the guy who couldn't sell.
Exactly.
And then they go, well, shit, if Jack's doing it over there, God, what could I do?
Exactly.
You were the poster child for what a lot of people say when they come here. You hear this. I mean, I'm sure you've heard this for years, right? I said this. I love Andrew Taylor. I do. So my favorite people in this company. I went to my first convention at a different company. Andrew was, if I was 23 or 4, he was probably 20, 21. I seen him on stage, him and his friend. And they were like, these guys made $100K plus last year selling life insurance, and they're building the business. And he used to bag groceries a couple years ago. Dude, I looked at them. And again, Andrew, I love you, bro. I was like, for real? Those guys? Those kids from California, these little look like surfer kid, they made $100,000 last year. So, dude, at the time, the most I made was like $30,000 in a year. And so you were that times 10 because they were like, dude, we used to work with this guy. Right. He couldn't sell anything here. Exactly. He's selling a bunch over there. Exactly. Let's go check it. So they started reaching out to you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one by one, they started joining me. So to date, I mean, I have partners that have been with me like since, those days, like 14 years, 16 years ago. And that's what got me excited about it. But the cool thing is that I realized once I started having agents, it's more than just a passive income. It builds your accountability, like immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's a pipeline. Hey, Mike, we do insurance. We need some help. Come help us out. You need to go get your class done. You need to take a test, and then we need to get some leads to get on the phone. It's a pipeline. It takes a minute.
Sure.
Like leads, I can pick up leads today, call them tonight, and sell them.
Correct.
So it's not an immediate gratification. It takes a minute, right? But what hits you immediately is like my responsibility centers awoke.
Absolutely.
It's like, hey, what time's the call, Mike? I don't know. Where do you get leads, Jack? I don't know.
Right.
I can't know. I can't not know.
Yeah.
So immediately I was awoken.
A guy said this on stage at the old company. It's one of the things that has stuck with me to this day. He said, the minute you recruit your first person and get them started, you give up your right to be average and ordinary. And that's exactly what you're saying, right? Hey, if it's just you, I don't know where the call, I don't know where you did this shit at. Yeah. But if now you recruited me and I rely on you, well, dude, you owe that to me.
Yeah.
Right? Just like Andrew owed it to you. I mean, every question you had, I'm sure Andrew either had the answer or found it for you.
Right.
And you owe that to that person.
Right.
So now, I mean, I bet it feels amazing because Agency Hall of Fame's $10 million a year. If you're doing $400K a year, you got a lot of people outside of you selling.
Yeah. So another thing is that at Family First Life, it's not just one or the other.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to buy leads. You don't, it's truly like so many companies boast about entrepreneurial spirit, right? Here's truly entrepreneurial. You have to take matters in your own hand. But the beautiful thing is they can coexist. Selling and recruiting, hiring can coexist at the same time. And neither has to be weird, you know? Because you're bringing people a good opportunity because I'm doing it. I'm doing it every day. People are doing it all over the country every day. And, you start getting to a point where it's very comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But you hit the nail on the head. And I think that's why a lot of people hesitate to recruit is the sale, the gratification from the sale is so instant now. I mean, you were here when we used to go in home, paper apps, all that stuff. And it felt quick then. Right. But I mean, sometimes you didn't get paid till a week or two later. Right. And we were still excited. Now, I mean, y'all get on the phone, talk to someone for what, 34? How long's your average appointment?
Yeah.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
40 minutes. You talk to someone for 40 minutes. You never left your house. You get them a policy. You get paid the next day from a lot of these carriers.
Daily. Yeah.
Daily. Like, that's insane.
It is.
If you recruit me today, dude, it might be 9 months before you make an override. Correct. You never know. I could screw around and not get in a class. I could fail 3 or 4 times. I could get started and be horrible. And it's not instant, but the reward is so much higher, and not from just a monetization standpoint. I'm sure it felt great when you figured out how to sell and make money for yourself. But what'd you guys do last month as a team? Do you remember?
Probably like 600.
600 grand. So 600,000. That means you got a good chunk of people making some money. How does that feel?
Well, it's great, because I mean, that's the whole point. I think Sean put it well. I mean, that's the whole point, helping families.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, not just your clients' families.
Yeah, exactly. So how can we have an impact on the country, the society, and people, like you said, are just completely underinsured. We need to do everything we can do to help more families.
Yeah.
And just knowing that, like, I can carry one guy on my back, but I can run with 50.
Absolutely.
So that kind of mentality.
100%. Is that why you still sell? Because I would assume financially you don't need to sell. Is that fair, or am I wrong about that?
Fair.
Why do you still sell, and why do you still sell at this level?
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
When COVID came, it was really hard for me because, it got real tough.
Yeah.
Right. But we had to go or stop. So we went. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then transitioning into virtual sales, you talked about it earlier, was really challenging.
Yeah.
Because it was just in my mind.
Right.
Really.
Well, you sold so long in the home. It wasn't like you just started and then we changed, next week.
Yeah. It was over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that transition, having me sit in an office, was hard as heck.
Yeah.
But then fortunately, it was just like riding a bike. I grabbed a whole bunch of old leads and I just got on the phone, and immediately it started matriculating, started working.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is great. And then we could do it from the comfort of our own home. So I was like, it was just a natural compliment.
Right.
And I think there's something to be said, in a day and age where we can be on Zooms and we can, with the team, that is, so we can have groups all over the country.
Sure.
Whether it's Florida or Texas and Nebraska, we could all get together on Zoom and share information and help a lot of families, So
absolutely,
doing it concurrently with them is key. So I can keep my finger on the pulse and say, hey, I'm doing it.
Right.
And here's relevant information we can share about daily sales. Plus, when you get to a certain level of commission, it's like,
why not?
You're helping people out,
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And you're leading those people, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's nothing they're going to run into on the phone that you haven't handled, a million times, and you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Last thing you want to do is, I haven't been in the field in 5 years, Jack, but here's what I would have done. Well, you don't know what's going on right now in the field, right? You don't know what's on the client's mind in today's day and age. So the fact that you're still out there gives you the ultimate ability to still help every single one of your agents.
I think so.
100%. I mean, the proof is there, right? Let's talk about the annuity sales, because, we talked about the Hall of Fame. You've hit Annuity Hall of Fame. 2 million in annuities you sold last year.
Correct.
What are you at this year? Do you know?
Getting there.
Getting close to 2 again. You're gonna hit Hall of Fame. You hit all 3 Hall of Fames again.
We're gonna do it.
Of course you are. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
But when did you start? Because you weren't selling annuities day one, right?
No.
When did you start selling annuities?
Years ago, but it was a work in progress. That's for sure. It took a minute.
Yeah.
It took a minute for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And it was a process. I had to put a lot of work towards it. Asking the question, meaning finding out if they had any retirement savings.
Yeah. Where do you ask that question? Is it the same every appointment? And what is the question you ask? Everybody kind of has a little different twist.
Yeah, right. So the first thing we want to do is identify monies, because we're doing rollovers, right? Chunks of money. And you don't want to sound like a identity theft, right?
Right.
So you want to have a relevant crossover question so you can inventory and figure, he's got 50,000, 100, or 300,000, right? So the question for many people is to say, hey, do you and Mary have anything else that acts like life insurance? Like an IRA, a 401k, right? Another way to ask the question, same question, is, hey, Mike, do you have anything else in place that's there to protect each other, like an IRA, a 401k, right?
Yeah.
And now I come up with this third way, which is just try to be more relevant and have them, answer the question and be in with it. I say, hey, look, Mike, there's 2 ways that we can help families create a legacy. The first is life insurance. I'm running the quote right now. The second is a safe money plan. So do you have any IRAs or 401ks or tax-deferred instruments, something like that? Right. And I even, I ask like that.
Yeah.
Just to identify the money. So you basically just want to ask them that question. That's
Okay.
called asking the question. And then you can start understanding, okay, I've got 50,000, I've got 500,000, I've got $1 million with Fidelity, what have you. So then you want to, like everything else, just inventory it, put it down. Right. Then you stick it in your back pocket, right? So you don't freak them out, because I'm not going to tidal wave sale them, and I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Right.
Because
you haven't finished the insurance sale
Yeah,
yet.
you haven't done that.
Yeah.
So you have to follow the insurance sale all the way to the end.
Okay.
Right. Sometimes you help them, sometimes you don't. But either way, you can always double back and then hit back on the retirement savings. Well, Mike, you mentioned that you've been in the workforce for 30 years and you've got this 401k with XYZ. We specialize in safe money retirement. And then we just have a couple of key phrases. For most of my families that are preparing for retirement, it makes sense to put some of that money somewhere safe, right? So we offer fixed instruments that are 100% safe, guaranteed, like a bank or a CD. right? And then we talk about some of the benefits. They have great earning potential, and they have a legacy, 50% legacy bonus, for example.
Yeah.
So that's how I started doing these annuities. We have one company that has a product that'll offer you a 50% signing bonus day one if you pass away. So if somebody has 100,000 in a 401k just sitting there, they're not even looking at it. Half of them don't even know where their statement is. If they're making money, losing money,
have no idea.
You identify it. Say, look, we can help you roll it over so it's 100% safe. You're still going to have a decent rate of return, but they give you a 50% bonus day one if you pass away. So 100,000 turns into 150,000 overnight if you die. And here we are on some of these cases, we're talking to people that are 65, 70, 75, 80 years old. And we're talking about 20,000, 10,000 on life insurance.
Right.
Right. And sometimes it's a great fit. That's half my business. And the other half of the time, it's not such a great fit because they've got 300,000 sitting in a 401k.
Right.
What's 20K? And I'm going to give you $200 a month for that.
Correct.
So, that just so happens. So I was able to figure out eventually how to take some of that money and put it into a legacy plan where they get a 50% bonus overnight.
Yeah.
And then we talk about case scenarios. That was a big deal.
Sure.
And then that's what helped me get my start.
Yeah.
And then they have all these other programs that are really great, of course, like a guaranteed lifetime income. Mm-hmm. I mean, half the people you're talking to, these people, they're 60 and up, right? Because it's now they're eligible to do a rollover, move the money. So now it's just a natural progression where we want to get our money out of the market so we don't lose any, because we can't afford to lose any money. And then I can turn on a guaranteed lifetime because that's what they're headed for. The goal, the pie in the sky is to turn on my pension. And the other supplemental part is turn on Social Security, start getting paid in a lifetime income stream.
Yeah.
So it's predictable.
Right.
So why is my 401k been such a mystery? I don't know if it's going up. I don't know if it's going down. I don't know if I could take money out all this time. Right. So now we could take that part and turn it into a guaranteed lifetime income. So it's no longer a mystery. It's a fixed number.
Right.
So Mike, if you take that money, put it over here, right, and you're going to retire next year, right? Okay, it give you exactly this much money every year, every month into your bank account with your pension and your Social Security. And the money's 100% safe and it keeps growing. Like what? Really? Yeah.
It sells itself.
Yeah. So that's a great program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with senior citizens, I mean, one of their, if not their biggest fear a lot of times is outliving their money, right?
So true.
We've worked all these years. We got this 401k. This is all we have to live on.
So true.
And then they start cutting things back. And I don't know, I mean, I've sat with clients at the table that go, I'm 68. And if I make it another 10 years, I'm not going to have money to live on.
Yeah. Like
I've heard people say that. I'm sure you have. It's a crazy thing to hear. You're like, what? So you're banking on I die before I run out of money?
Right. So 50 years ago, the biggest fear in America was when am I going to die?
Yeah.
Right. When am I going to die? Right. And as you said, the biggest fear in America nowadays amongst retirees is, am I going to outlive my retirement savings? Yeah.
Like imagine having that thought, like, I hope I die before I run out of money. How sad is that?
Sad.
And we are in a position with your insurance license, because we're not securities licensed. We can't get any variable. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We with our license, we can take someone whose fear is outliving that money. If they have money sitting there, we can move it into a product where we can guarantee they won't outlive it.
Exactly.
You could live for another 20. You could live till you're 105, and you're still going to have whatever it is, this 5,000 that's coming in every month, every single month.
Every single month.
Like, well, what if I didn't put enough into it? Don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Right?
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter. They're going to keep paying. Trust me, insurance companies know how to make money, dude.
They do.
They know how to make a lot of money.
Sure know.
So they ain't worried if, 20% of their clients outlive. They're like, dude, they're making money on top of money.
They've got the time value of our money.
Absolutely. So why not? Like, and I think it goes back to something I talk about all the time here. Like, there's a few requirements I think you have to be good at this business and to be in this business for a long time. Attitude, activity, sure, right? You got to have the right mindset, which we talked about a lot with how you approach the leads, how you approach your clients. You got to put the work in. Mm-hmm. You're not going to sell $400K a year working 10 hours a week. It's not going to happen, right? Like, how many hours do you think you put in a week between everything? Agency, 40, 50, 100,
50.
20, 50,
yeah.
50 hours.
Yeah.
Like, is that crazy? I don't think so.
No.
Like, it's not 100 hours.
No.
Right? You still get to do stuff with your family, your kid, like
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And you get to have the freedom of like, all right, I can shift around, right? Oh, my son has a game that I can go see that and dial later.
So true.
I don't have to ask, hey, Andrew, can I leave work right now?
Exactly.
You know? So you have those two things. And then the last piece is you have to actually care about people. I don't think, because if you don't care about people, you're not going to drive 3 hours to deliver a death claim. Because they could just mail it. Who cares, right? They just mail it to them. Oh, she can't pay her more. That's not my problem to figure out. It's theirs. Right? But I mean, it sounds crazy.
Right.
But that's how a lot of people view it.
Right.
Even the annuity stuff, if you don't really care about, yes, you make a good commission on annuities. But if you don't care about that person, you're just going to move on to the next. Oh, I didn't help her with life insurance. I'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're first of all, you're leaving money on the table, and you have the ability to put this person in a better position, and you didn't because you're too concerned with your commission check, or you're too concerned with your own feelings. Because you mentioned that, and then everyone's there, so it's not like, oh yeah, man, that's me, and I'm a bad person. No, right? It's uncomfortable.
No,
all of it's uncomfortable because you've never done it before.
Right.
It's uncomfortable to go, hey, Jack, what do you make each month? You know?
Yeah. No.
Do you have anything that acts like life insurance? Oh, we have this specialized program. It's uncomfortable.
Totally uncomfortable.
Right? What's the most money you moved into an annuity?
In one shot?
Yeah.
Probably $500,000.
$500,000.
No.
That's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, I don't know you. You don't know me. You got $500,000 in your 401k. I got something we can move it into. Right? Like, that's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
But every time you do it, every time you get uncomfortable, the next time you do it, it's not as uncomfortable. Right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember what it was like the first time getting on the phones?
Oh, it was rough.
It was rough, right?
It was rough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I bet you don't even think twice.
No. Second nature.
So, yeah. But it's taking, but then how many clients have you spoke to over how long you been in insurance now? 15 years, 20 years?
Yeah. Less than 20, more than 15.
Less than 20, more than 15. So somewhere in that range. But so, of course, it's going to be uncomfortable day one. If it wasn't, there might be something wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We probably don't want you if it's not good. Like, but you have to get out of your comfort zone.
You do.
To have success in anything.
You do.
Whether it's this business or not. You're not. What's going to happen is if you stay in your comfort zone, you're going to work a job that you hate for your whole entire life. You're never going to have the money or the freedom to do things that you truly want to do. You're going to be at the mercy of what people allow you to do if you do not get uncomfortable.
And I mean, just to piggyback on what you said, when you said it, it struck me. I was like, I used to think that. I used to be worried about it. Like, am I a bad person? I'm not a bad person. No. It's just I got so many other things to do. We're just so unusual, buying leads and getting on the phone and checking your own posture, and then people following up on you and hanging up on you, and then having to pay bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So sometimes it's just your natural disposition to want to chase the check around.
Correct.
But it wasn't until, things happen. And I guess to answer the question, like if you put the work in, it's worth getting to that point.
Absolutely.
Because you get to the point where you have a skill set and a gift that keeps giving. You ask me, why do I keep selling? Because it just keeps giving.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
Love it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, do you kicking ass? You have so I got to give you some more info on your stats here.
Oh, no.
You are number 3 all time with us from a personal production standpoint. Did you know that?
No.
I don't think you knew that. No.
No.
Of course, number 1 is Steve. You know that.
Of course.
I find out who's number 2 then. I got to ask Ed, but you are number 3. So there's only 2 producers with Family First Life that have sold more in their career than you have.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's good to know.
You are, I think there's 7 other producers in the history of our company, okay, that have reached Hall of Fame 5 times or more. So you're one of those 7. You're one of the top 3. So you're kicking ass, Jack. Now, I'm asking you this question for an important reason. How old are you?
That's really important.
It is important.
I'm 59.
You're 59. What is the average age of our agents, do you think?
Now?
Yeah.
23.
23, 25, right? And I the reason I point that out is is it fair to say most 59-year-old, well, let's say most 50-year-olds, you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
That's a fair statement.
Right?
No, it's a fair statement.
I mean, you do. I'm not trying to be mean. Listen, I'm 40, dude. I wouldn't want to recruit me. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in a lot of weight. I've been doing this for 15 plus years.
Right.
I wouldn't want to recruit somebody my age.
Right.
But you are an outlier. Because you've recruited for a long time. Most people that have especially been in sales, whether they're successful or not, everybody has a weird kind of like, well, I never made any money, but I know things about sales. Okay. 9 times out of 10, working with an agent that's your age, you're not going to be able to get them to make changes. Is that fair?
Sometimes that's fair.
Yeah. And you've made change after change after we talked about you used to go in home. You used to sell off of, leads that weren't even real leads. Now you never would ask the financial questions. Now you do. You didn't build an agency. Now you have built a good size agency. So all these things, you've done the opposite of what most agents in your age bracket do. Is that fair?
Fair.
Yeah. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome to see. So there's really no point outside of like, that's phenomenal. And so don't think that, well, if they're not 25, they're not going to work. You just never know.
No, you just never know.
You never know.
You just never know.
Right.
That's true.
The guys on your team that are selling now, I bet some of them probably surprise you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
You just now. So last thing, I ask you this last question. What do you think? So for people that are not recruiting right now or they want to, what is one piece of advice you can give these guys? Like, what do you think is one of the most important things, whether it's a mindset thing that you have to be a good recruiter or a good manager?
Yeah, I think that was the big thing for me. One takeaway from looking back at all these years is that, hey, hindsight's 2020. I should have started recruiting earlier, right? Because it's such a healthy environment to do, like I said, both.
Right.
Right. You're going to be selling at a very high level.
Sure.
If you want to, if you put in the determination and hard work, right? And you can have an agency helping more, families across the country and people running mates, partners.
Yeah.
Right. You can do both.
Right.
So take our word for it. It's there.
Don't wait.
Right. And you'll figure it out quickly. You start selling at a certain level and then you look around, hey, my buddy over there in North Dakota, he's doing just as much production, but he's got a team of 10, 20, 50 doing this. It's an exciting time to be with Family First Life. You want to take advantage of both opportunities here.
100%. Yeah. And there's plenty of examples. You go, well, I've not figured it out yet. Okay. Guess what? Someone around you has.
Right.
Right.
Well, even the people that come on with the right mentality, right? It's not a do-it-yourself show.
Right.
And even now, when talking to new agents, I don't make it about me. It's about the opportunity. It's about people that come before me, people doing it beside me. Just say, hey, look, my partner over here is doing this much and doing this much, and we're here as a unit to help people get traction.
Yeah.
And the resources that are available on a daily basis are just flowing.
They're everywhere.
They're flowing, So yeah, just as much as we lack perhaps the experience and confidence to sell life insurance, the same thing with building a team.
Absolutely.
But you should understand that both of these options are alive and well at Family First Life, and you should take advantage
100%.
of both as soon as possible. Yeah.
Dude, I've never had someone say to me, I'm glad I waited. They always say exactly what you said. I wish I would have started sooner.
Exactly.
And the guys that start day one are the guys that hit the ground running and pass everybody,
True.
So, well, Jack, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything you've done for the company, going out there, kicking ass year in and year out, still doing it. I hope I'm working as hard as you are when I'm 59 years old.
Let's do it.
It's an inspiration. Seriously, it's awesome to see. So congrats on the success. Just keep kicking ass, dude.
Thanks, man.
100%. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back here next week on True Talk. We'll see you then.